There are a lot of different ways of thinking about how a good life is created. I'm going to share one with you today that's not really common in this culture, but I think it will bless you. Hey everybody, it's Emily, and as promised, I have another quote for you from the book, the novel Tending Roses by Lisa Wingate. This is Grandma Rose speaking again, and I think it might actually be something that Lisa Wingate's actual real grandmother had written in one of her stories. Anyway, if you missed the last video, it's a completely different topic. The last video is on finances, but there's the link up there in case you're wondering. But yeah, I had a quote from that book, and now, a different quote on that video. And in this video, it's about what a good life it consists of. What makes a good life? And here is what Grandma Rose had written in a story for her granddaughter who was struggling with some things. She says, "Pride and resentment do not create bread that will rise." The whole story, the backstory is how she was clueless about how to bake bread. She had come from a dysfunctional family, and her mother never taught her how to cook. So when she was a young married wife, she didn't know how to make bread, and she kept messing it up. She had to make just the flat bread, and her husband got upset about it, and she was too prideful to admit that she didn't know how. She was too prideful to go find another woman to ask, to teach her how to bake bread. So pride and resentment do not create bread that will rise. Bread, like a good life, can only be created by honest measure, patience, warmth, and time. Let that sink in a minute. What she's saying is if you want a good life, you need patience, honest measure, warmth, and time. How much does that completely contradict and come up against the cultural conception of what a good life is? A good life means having a lot of money. A good life is having a secure job, of which, by the way, there is no such thing. Having a good life consists of having a new or almost new car, a pretty recent model. You need to have one of the most recent models of car. A good life, having a big house, having lots of opportunities for yourself, your children. I could go on, but our culture has wrapped the concept of good life in, materialism. Materialism. But that goes against everything that research shows. Research shows that the really rich people are some of the most miserable on earth. It shows that most people who win the lottery lose all their money within a relatively short period of time. Having money and having material things, even wanting certain material things, isn't evil, but it's not what makes a good life. What makes a good life? Patience and time. The older I get, the more I understand that. And this is hard for young people to. Young people don't want to hear this because patience and time is what breeds wisdom. Because it takes patience, it takes time to gain the experience you need to be wisdom. And the more wisdom you have, the more patient you are with life, and the more you realize, the more you become aware of what really matters. It's not the material things. It's the relationship with your Creator, the relationship with the people around you, even your own relationship with yourself. That sounds weird, but knowing yourself, knowing who you are at your core, and being able to accept your imperfections, to love yourself the way you are, so that then you are free to express yourself. And that's how you experience fulfillment. You know, that feeling of being fulfilled is a important part of how you relate to yourself. So that's part of the good life. Warmth. Warmth. Where do you get warmth? You can't get warmth from money or material things. Where do you get warmth? Love, caring from other people. These are the things that create a good life. What about honest measure? Honest measure. We can just go with honesty, right? Being honest with yourself, being honest with other people. Honest measure also implies kindness and not judging. When you're baking bread, whether it's weighing or whether it's, measuring in a cup or a tablespoon or whatever, it has to be just right if you want bread to turn out right. And the same goes for a good life. You have to have enough of the right ingredients. And those ingredients they can't be manipulated into existence. You can't force things to happen in your life. You can't force people to love you. You can't force people to be your friend. You can't force circumstances to change so that, I get my dream job or whatever. All right? Honest measure. You gain things honestly. How? By sharing your love, by being your authentic self, by respecting other people, by not judging. And yes, you become a lot better with that the older, usually, hopefully, you get better with that as you get older with time. So the good life, honest measure, patience, warmth, and time. Something for you to think about today. Food for thought. Ha ha. You really want a good life? That perspective might actually get you a little closer to your goal than what you've been hearing from the mainstream culture. If this video has blessed you in any way, feel free to give it a thumbs up and share it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next video. In the meantime, take care and be well.